So let's continue our momentum from the fantastic race we had at Bristol. See if we can get 2 victories in a row. But Michigan is going to be decidedly more difficult because of the fact that it's a 2-mile oval. And as you can see, we did not get through turn 1 very well. So we fell back quite a bit actually. I started in the 12th position. In round 2 of qualifying, I'd actually done a lap fast enough to be 11th, but shook out that it was 12th, and now it is 24th. As we go 4 wide off of turn number 4, car is a little bit all over the road right now. It's not very good in the pack, that's for sure. Get behind Casey Mears, gave him a little bump, but there was no real place to go there. But we'll drive around the outside, hopefully past both Mears and Danica here. Oh, and Brian Scott. We were 4 wide once again. Well, there's some good racing at Michigan, that's for sure. And that will come up behind Landon Castle, who gave us such grief during the Bristol race when he was the lap car there. As wow, the car washed up quite a bit there off of turn number 4. And back onto the main straightaway. I don't know if you can really call it a straightaway here at Michigan because it's kind of a curve the whole way around. But whatever. I can't remember how we did in the earlier Michigan race. I seem to remember battling with Brad Keselowski for the lead. But it's possible that that was a different race. Generally at these 2-mile tracks, I'm not very good in NASCAR Heat. But that's more down to the way this game structures its career mode, with the cars being much slower than they are in real life, which is, you know, a game mechanic with the idea of you're going to improve your car through the seasons. But because of the fact that the AI slowed down for you, that ends up turning it into, you know, Rick Allen in the intro video for this said you'll be going 220 miles an hour into the corners. That's not happening. You're barely at 200 in the draft. So we get way up next to the wall there, a little too high. We're not even back to our qualified position, but it is a bit of a pack race, and it's kind of funny because it actually looks a little bit more like Daytona than Daytona does in this game because of the fact that the cars are all staying together quite well. Got a lot of understeer, though. I think we're definitely going to have to take a little bit of wedge out of it when we get into the first stop of the day. As we get a huge draft off of Carl Edwards, going to move out the outside and maybe around the unemployed Kurt Busch. We still don't know about that yet, whether or not that is actually true. Kurt Busch and both Stewart-Haas and the Stewart-Haas Racing Twitter seem to vehemently deny it, but oh, for the love of God.
There's a wreck.
And there it is. Side-to-side contact in NASCAR Heat always ends up an absolute... Oh, good Lord. Okie dokie. Hey, guess what's not come out? Oh yeah, that's right, a yellow. Okay. Well, let's reevaluate what has happened. Well, the car's not too badly damaged, which is a good thing. But outside of that, everything is not awesome right now. If I could get back to the bloody, stupid leaderboard, I could actually see what's going on. Well, that's annoying. So we've now got to kind of hope the AI rubber band the way they usually do, and at the same time kind of run some fast laps, because despite the fact that they're going to rubber band, eventually we're going to get back up to the front of the field and they are going to speed back up. So we'll probably get up to like 20th, and then it'll be game on again, with the AI showing their proper speed. But we're going to see if we can get some fuel mileage as well. though the fact that I was flat out, I think the entire lap, the last lap, is not going to bode well for potentially getting fuel mileage. We'll see. Get down next to the white line. In fact, I was able to run under that in qualifying. It's funny, the wall hit has actually seemingly made the car handle better because now I'm able to go flat out virtually the whole way around the track. So that's fairly interesting. I don't know why that is. Somebody figure that one out for me. Why on earth am I faster after hitting the wall than before hitting the wall?
Still there.
We're able to run a cleaner line. Yeah, fastest lap of the race for me right there. Yeah, screw you, Clint Boyer.
All clear.
And he saved it, but that was weird. The physics engine in this game is so weird because like you can spin the AI out so quickly and easily, but if you hit them in the side, they will spin you out really quickly and easily. But it doesn't work both ways. They can slam you in the back and it won't necessarily spin you out, but if you slam them in the back, it will spin them out almost instantly. They hit you in the side, you're getting spun out. You hit them in the side, they're not spinning at all. It's so weird. I hope they fix that, but I'm not confident that they will. This is the thing I'm so worried about NASCAR Heat 2, is that like the spotter. This is the thing. In all the gameplay I've seen, the spotter is still Bobby Labonte, and while that's a small thing, that says to me they haven't changed a whole lot of the core game, or as much of the core game that really needed to be changed. So when you hear things like the spotter hasn't been changed, then you couple that with the fact that you start wondering about the physics, and you see some trailers like that Iowa Speedway one where it looked like cars were pinging off the walls after crashing into it. You start to worry. I mean, it's possible that they put all the development time into getting trucks and Xfinity, and then a little bit of damage and stages and whatnot, and they didn't fix the core mechanics of the game, which of course are the physics. I'm a little bit worried about that, and by a little bit worried, I'm a lot worried, because I'm just fearing that NASCAR Heat 2 is going to be NASCAR Heat with a new coat of paint and a few extra bags of chips, but it's not actually going to make the game any better from the perspective of, you know, do I want to drive this, you know, forever? And Danica is blocking to the inside. I don't understand that at all. She's like, that was a Jimmy Johnson block right there. Blocking for a completely unnecessary position, but just completely driving a guy into the grass because I'm Jimmy Johnson and screw you. Well, that was I'm Danica Patrick and screw you. But really the only driver she says that to these days is Ricky Stenhouse. But let's get up behind retired Scott. Game's lagging a little bit. Possibly we're going to get a yellow here. It's possible we're not going to. It's possible just something is happening and the game is going. I do not want to render that at the speed you're currently asking me to. Well, everybody's pitting, so that's a good thing. We haven't gotten the fuel alarm yet, though I would guess we're probably going to get it as soon as we cross the line here. Yeah, wow, what a friggin' called shot that was. Thanks, Matt, appreciate it. Okay, we got 2 laps to go on the fuel. We're gonna go into 1. I was gonna say I'm gonna try to stretch it. We could have done a NASCAR 15 style thing. So tires, they're really bad. They're really bad. And, you know what we could take? I'm gonna do a 2-tire stop, try to catch up on this run.
Car ahead is spinning.
And we will take some wedge out.
Slow down.
And hopefully be able to catch up a little bit. So I tried to loosen up the car a little bit by putting some tape on the grill, taking some wedge out. I heard the crowd cheer, which is interesting. I think I took the lead in the pit lane. So a 2-tire stop was very quick, actually, a tenth faster than it was estimated to be. And where are we going to cycle out? We're going to cycle out to 20th position. So we gained a little bit. We didn't gain a whole lot, though. I fall back to 21st now that Ryan Newman has gone around. And here comes Trevor Bayne up behind. And he's going to make the pass, okay. Well, let's see what the changes have done in the corners here. Oh yeah, the car is definitely looser. But it may be more drivable now. And we may not be absolutely trucking off of the corner as we sneak right down in front of Trevor Bayne. And now in the draft of Ryan Newman. Hopefully pull all the way down the main straightaway here. With a little sniff of draft. Into turn 1, the car feels much, much livelier, which is quite good. And look at that exit speed off of the corner. A little bit worse than it was in qualifying, but again, I think a little bit of that has to do with the fact that I only took 2 tires on this stop. Again, we're starting to move up, starting to claw our way up through the field. Now we've got to try to go get Austin Dillon. And there's always a possibility that we're going to go to yellow. We have not gotten a yellow the entire race, despite the fact that we really should have gotten one when that crash happened that I was involved in. And that's another thing I'm kind of worried about is with NASCAR Heat 2 is the caution system. Now they said they redid it, but I don't know if they redid it just for the stages. It's probably, if I had to guess, it is not going to be easier to bring a yellow out in NASCAR Heat 2. That is just off of my intuition on that one. I just feel like it's I'm worried about it, folks. I'm worried about NASCAR Heat 2. I know there's a lot of hype out there, a lot of people probably talking big game, like, oh, it's going to be the next great thing, the next great NASCAR game. I don't know about that, folks. Taper your expectations. That's all I can say, because I just don't know. I just feel like it's just not. It's not going to be what, and it's going to be the same thing. I mean, this happened with NASCAR Heat 1, too, which is funny, because people were like, oh, this is going to be the greatest thing ever. You know, the people who did Dirt to Daytona are taking back over the NASCAR Heat franchise. And then they got all mad, and they're like, oh, this game sucks. Because they've had huge expectations, and they didn't read between the lines. You can always read between the lines on these things. And one of the biggest read between the line things, outside of the fact that the gameplay itself looks remarkably similar to the gameplay you're seeing right now, is that the $50 price tag. I mean, why are you already putting a discount on the game? That's a big whoa, as we get a couple of RCR cars nearly crashing into each other there, Paul Menard and Austin Dillon. But you look at the price tag, and $50 discounted price before it hits the store shelves. Now, there's a couple reasons for that. Number one, they had a lot of people complaining that NASCAR Heat Evolution was a $60 game. Didn't stay $60 for very long. But that was because people said, there's not enough content in this game, why are you charging $60 for it? So why have they theoretically put together a game with more content, but for less money? Something about that picture don't sit right with Mr. David, and I just feel like there's something that's not, you know, piecing together properly about that. Especially because you just know they're going to do the paint scheme DLC again. And that's the thing that really triggers me, is like, come on, man. Paint scheme DLC? I mean, you also look at like F1 2017, and I was going to suggest like, hey, you know what would be cool? Is if like the DLC for NASCAR Heat was like classic tracks, classic cars, and that stuff's like included in like F1 2017, like in the base game, before DLC. The NASCAR Heat is going to charge you for paint schemes. I don't know. I think it'd be cool if you could like run, I don't know, Daytona Beach or Nazareth or Rockingham, North Wilkesboro. Wouldn't those be cool things to have in a NASCAR game? Wouldn't it be cool to run trucks, Xfinity, and Cup at North Wilkesboro? That'd be kind of cool. Texas World Speedway, you know, stuff like that. Can't be that hard to get the licensing to that, those tracks. I mean, heck, NASCAR friggin' owns Nazareth, or at least used to. I'm guessing they have some sort of first right of refusal on the copyrights, since they don't allow racing there anymore. But that is DLC. But instead, I'm going to charge $7, or whatever it is, for paint scheme DLC. I mean, the only DLC I bought from this game was the NASCAR 2017 update. And they actually did include a car, technically, the 2017 Toyota with that. And it was like 40 cars, too. I mean, it was a full grid of cars. And we've got a yellow. Wow, the spotter called out a yellow. It happened, and we're going to be able to pit under the yellow. This works. We're back in the game. All right, let's get after it. We're restarting in the 23rd position after restarting we were 19th on the track. We're now 23rd. Green is out. We're racing once again at Michigan. And we're going to get an amazing restart. I passed before the restart zone. I'm sure I'd be getting a penalty. That's another thing about NASCAR Heat 2. It's like, are they going to have like the All-Star race and the dual races? And like actual rules, like you can't pass below the yellow line or the restart zone or anything? I would bet we won't. But again, I'm not a betting man. But if I had money on it, I would not expect any of those features, because they haven't been talked about, haven't been mentioned. Nobody's really asked about them from what I've seen. So good job, racing game journalists. And people who have an in at Duesenberry Martin, or 407 games, or 704 games, or whatever.
Still there. You're all clear.
As we run way, way too wide. 3 wide underneath. And is there anywhere to go? We're going to really bully Michael McDowell there. But it works out kind of okay. Whoops. Well, rip Austin Dillon. Not really. I think he saved it.
The yellow's out.
Oh, no, he didn't. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. All right, restarting once again, but this time we're on the inside again. But we're 15th, which is almost back to my qualified position, which I don't even think I worked my way up to on the since the start of the race. But there's 12th. Oh, and I almost got completely dead via Hamlin, and I just got spun in front of the field. Please bring out the yellow for that.
The yellow's out.
Thank you. Alright, I pitted under that yellow because I was going to be last anyway. And it's going to be
the race is going green. There's the green
interesting here on the start, that's for sure. So I'm going to go around the outside, because I think that's my best opportunity. Being on the bottom, you tend to just get run into down there. So we're going to run around the outside of the track. Well, this isn't helping because they're going to go fast for some reason. Where's the rubber banding when you actually need it? And Paul Menard is going to block me.
Stay low. Still there.
And we're completely screwing what I didn't want to do. Or doing what I didn't want to do, which is drive to the inside. Yeah, run the apron in NASCAR Heat. That is not the key to an overwhelming failure.
Still there.
So we make it 3 wide underneath Kyle Busch and Ryan Ellis.
Car high.
Oh, well, I guess we were 4 wide because Kurt Busch is on the outside.
You're all clear.
We're going to loosen the car up quite a bit underneath, and we're wrecking again. I think Joey Logano has been involved in every wreck I've had so far. Well, at this point, if we get enough yellows, I'll be able to make it to the end because I've just pitted on every caution. Okay, so I'm going to bully Paul Menard this time. Screw you, Paul Menard. Screw you. Screw you. Screw you.
Hold your line.
I want the outside. I'm going to take it whether you like it or not. Okay. Well, no, he's just going to drive around the outside because he has all of the grip in the entire world.
Clear high. And
I do not. Okay. Move to the back stretch. Down in the draft behind Logano. Pull out. Retired Scott giving me a good run here into turn 1. I nearly completely killed myself in the safety barrier, but thankfully I did not. All the way around the outside. How far are we going to get up the field? Up to 24, 6. There's Biffle. Oh yeah, there we go. The outside line finally working. I almost wrecked Greg Biffle there. Wow, that is a Larson line if I've ever seen one. I don't think you could have put a paper between me and the outside wall there as we get into Greg Biffle, or maybe he got into us, I'm not sure. But here we go into turn number 3 once again. And Ryan Newman going very slow. Kind of keeping me at bay there. I'm going to stay on the outside. I don't care if they pass me to the inside because I know I'm faster in the corners. Oh, for the love of God. There we go again. Good God. Paul Menard just got completely destroyed there. All right, 40th, but we're starting on the outside, so that's all I wanted. That is all I wanted. All right. Michigan is always just a complete, utter farce. Every time we go here, the 2-mile tracks suck in this game, just are terrible. Because Fontana, the AI rubber banding is maybe the worst on any track, and that's saying something. And here, everybody just runs into you constantly. Which is wonderful. Okay, here we go. Big draft. Get out of my way, Regan Smith. You just see the lightest of touches there put me into the wall. The lightest of touches. Here we go around the outside, 4 wide with Logano. And we actually didn't hit him that time, so that's good. 2 laps to go. We got the fresh tires. We got the wedge and the tape where we need it. They did not get through turn 2 properly though, but I cut off Allmendinger there. And we're just going to try to sneak ever so carefully through the center. I was in the safer barrier. Good Lord, here we go again. Thankfully I did not crash that time. We're able to stay relatively safe at the moment as the field spreads out just a little bit. We're coming up to the white flag this time around. So it's pretty much save as much prize money as I can here. Lift off the gas just a little bit. I couldn't get the exit off of turn 2. I had to cut off Ellis there. I'm going to go to the inside of Newman because it's the only way to go. And we're going to force him up the track here. Try to drive around the outside of Kenseth, and I almost hit the wall again. Can we pass Danica? Can we pass Danica by the line? Here we go. We got draft off of Kenseth. Oh, for the love of God, we've crashed at the end. I saved it. Danica did not. It's a major crash. She crashed into the pit lane. Danica crashed into the pit lane. I'm not the only, or not the pit lane, the victory lane. I'm not the only person to do that. Yes. So, 20th position, where you tend to finish in NASCAR Heat when you've had not a good day. Everybody finished on the lead lap, which is interesting. Jimmy Johnson won, and the Busch brothers followed him behind. So let's take a look at the money, which is not going to be too good. No, not too very good on the money. We only got 200,000. What a terrible tragedy. Points, probably not going to be very good either, though we've got the 3 wins, so that's going to be just fine for 13th in the points. So let's head back to the garage and take a look at anything else that we need to take a look at. So from Michigan, we're going to go on to Darlington for the Bojangles Southern 500, the throwback race, where only the Toyotas will be in throwbacks because I am not paying for DLC paint schemes. We'll see you in the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been David Land on YouTube. We'll see you at Darlington.